Welcome to this episode of Best of America by Horseback. I'm Tom C. With the opening of the Big South Fork National Recreation Area with miles of designated equestrian trails, Jamestown, Tennessee has become a mecca for trail riding enthusiasts as a vacation destination and more recently home for equestrians from all over the country. On this episode of Best of America by Horseback, we will look at equestrian community living at the Highlands of Big South Fork and White Oak and see how the Gerndt family is carrying on a 130-year family legacy. Beginning with East Fork Stables, a premier equestrian campground and trail riding facility where I often ride with many of our viewers and friends, and the development of these equestrian communities, the Gerndt family offers horse owners many opportunities to vacation or live with your equine here in Jamestown, Tennessee.
It is said,
before it was illegal to pick your kid up by the arm, he'd pick me up and stick me in the saddle with him.
Another thing that comes when you buy a property from Outlet Land Company is you get free lifetime riding at East Fork Stable.
The people that live here in this area are great. I mean, talk about people who just pitch in and give you a hand with stuff.
So you have access to 400 miles of trails in the northern part of this county.
if you dream it,
Well, you'll have 4, similar to Ohio, but just a lot milder. This just felt more like home dog.
it can be.
And let's ride!
You got it, hon.
With the opening of the Big South Fork National Recreation Area with miles of equestrian trails inside the park, Jamestown, Tennessee has become a vacation destination for trail riders and more recently, home for equestrians from all over the country. The Allard Land Company is a well-known name to equestrians in north central Tennessee. In 1994, they opened East Fork Stables, a premier equestrian campground with riding trails on several thousand acres of privately owned land on the Cumberland Plateau. The area is known for its incredible beauty. The plateau provides scenic overlooks along the gorges. Waterfalls cascade down from the top and along the rocky ridges.
We moved to White Oak about a month ago, and I'll tell you, we're really excited about being here. Yeah, one of the nice things about retiring here is there's no state income tax and very low property taxes. So it's a great place to come to, especially if you're retiring. And I'm loving it here. It's really pretty. And there's a great trail system through the development. And also it hooks up into Big South Fork. There's a lot of really good riding here. Great area, and the neighbors, the people that live here in this area are great. I mean, talk about people who just pitch in and give you a hand with stuff. And you know, we'd left Arizona with enough hay to travel with, but we didn't really have much when we first got here. And all the neighbors got together and started bringing hay over to us to last us until we could find a load to buy and until the first cuttings start up.
My favorite area of the trails around here is in the Zenith area, which is actually in the Big South Fork Federal Park. It's right along the White Oak Creek. It's actually about a 5-mile ride out of the White Oak development down to the Zenith area, but it is some of the most beautiful setting right on the river, and the horse riding is right along the old O&W railroad bed, and you traverse right beside the river for mile after mile as you head downstream. It's just an incredible property.
Stay tuned for more of Best of America by Horseback.
Back at the event venue, East Fork Stables. Have you ever been to Racking on the Edge? The Highlands and the dream business. Air-conditioned ridge-top horse trails. Out your back door. Tennessee. 4 beautiful seasons. A short, often warm winter. No state income tax. Low property taxes. The Highlands or White Oak. Enough said. Thanks.
What are the people like in this part of Tennessee and the people with the Allard Land Company?
Oh, Allard's great, and the people around here are friendly. You know, we have some friends that say we're all characters. We've all washed up here from different places and for different reasons, but we get along. It's really nice.
When you drive through the front gates of Highlands, there's just a serene feeling that comes about, and it's very noticeable. You just pull through those gates, you see the trees and the green grass, and just calm. It's just calm, and that's what attracted us to start with. And then when we came across this piece of property, we knew that we were going to have a view of this rock cliff that you see on this side. Didn't really understand that we were going to be able to see the gulch as well as we can.
You've been here for years. It's one of the most beautiful homes here.
Thank you.
One of the most beautiful views you can find anywhere. Did you know, just like when you saw the horse, this was the place for you?
Yes, and I just knew, you know, it had everything I wanted. At the time I was working full time. I could drive in and unload my horses in the stalls, and you know, it was easy. We had beautiful trails. We have like 29 miles of our own trails. So it's like being on vacation.
What is it about the Highlands and a place to keep your horse that's different than other places around the country where you can have horses and a place to stay? There's a kind of a magical match here. Tell me about that.
Well, it is magical. I mean, great people. You're with a lot of other people. A lot of us are retirees now, and you know, everybody's here for the same reason, because of the horse. So we share that bond. But there's also, you know, you're not isolated. We help each other. We have a great crew that works here that helps take care of the barns and the pastures. So it's like, you know, it's just easy.
If you had to do it over again, would you be any other place in the country besides here?
No, matter of fact, before we built, we've lived all over the country, and we were in Maryland before I retired, and we revisited the entire United States in our heads, and decided this was it because of the view, of the community, and you can travel from here to anywhere else, you know, pretty easily, Nashville, Knoxville, whatnot. So no, we wouldn't be anyplace else. Matter of fact, we remind ourselves of that every time we drive in the gate. It's just a wonderful, wonderful view to come in.
My favorite ride is the Highlands Trails. Really established and built some new ones, and there are some beautiful bluff overlooks that you just can't see anywhere else. And there is one special place that I really like, and that was York Palace. That's on this track, and it's the one that is special to me. But there's so many. It's very hard to just pick one out because there's so many.
If somebody buys property in one of our developments, they can certainly trailer out of that development over across town to another development of ours. For example, White Oak, which has actually a public trailhead in it. Or another thing that comes when you buy a property from Outlet Land Company is you get free lifetime riding at East Fork Stables, our event venue.
So you have access to 400 miles of trails in the northern part of this county, all for free. It all comes with it.
East Fork Stables has an event schedule that begins in April and it runs through late October. We host about 4 or 5 rides per year that East Fork puts on. Our signature ride is Oktoberfest, and it's a 5-day ride.
All 3 of your meals are prepared. Big Guns is an event. We have one in the spring and one in the fall, and they're speed rackers. They're gated in a walking gate, but it's in a walking, and they race, and the winner is sometimes 32 miles an hour in a walking gate, very smooth as they go, and there will be 300 horses on the property, and the last one we had this spring, we nearly sold out.
There are trails to suit any level rider, from challenging trails to easy trails, through fields and along their wagon trails, wide enough to ride 2x2 or bring your wagon in carts. The footing is mostly sandy due to the largely sandstone makeup of the plateau. Many overlook areas have tie lines and picnic tables along the trail. East Fork is still owned and also managed by the Gerndt family. In the late 1880s, Bruno Gerndt, the original owner of this land, installed pipe handrails for the children in the rock ledge above the waterfalls. He also built a barbecue pit in a rock cave above the falls, where the family enjoyed weekly outings on the overlook. The pit is still there, if you know where to look.
Bruno came over in the 1870s over to the States, and he migrated from Michigan down to Tennessee, and he and Mr. Allard formed the town of Allard in the late 1800s and went back and forth to Germany on at least 2 or 3 trips and recruited families to come over and settle their new town of Allard here on the Cumberland Plateau. Allard Land Company entered in 2002 with both the Highlands at Big South Fork and White Oak, both of our equestrian developments. We're not realtors. We market and sell Allard Land Company's property, which all belongs to the family. In closing, the bottom line is this for me: if you're considering Tennessee as a place to either retire or to have a second home, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your equine friend to come and check out the Highlands at Big South Fork and White Oak, both developed by Allard Land Company. You will not be disappointed.
What I tell a lot of people is this family's been here for over 130 years. We're very well established. You have a lot of confidence in the Gernts.
So let the cowboy dance, let him dance all night. Maybe he won't fight